Greetings and welcome to this edition of
Positronic.
I'm Barry P. Cook. I'm here to talk to you about the latest episode of DC's Titans. It was called Game Over. As it starts, Gar wakes up in the Doom Patrol mansion with grass under his feet for some reason, and he finds Cliff mowing the lawn inside the house with vines growing everywhere. According to Negative Man, Gar has been asleep for 3 days. And apparently it's Gar's fault that stuff's growing all over the place, and it's not the exact Doom Patrol mansion as much as some kind of replication of it that they're all trapped in. It is cool to see Cyborg with his tech again, even though it's the worst costume on television ever. Luther Boy and Sebastian, who still hasn't blown the horn to bring Trigon into the world, continue to have coffee or whatever, and Luther Boy x-rays his book and realizes that he's still writing code and trying to make a game, and he tells him that if he joins him at LexCorp, he can turn it into reality. Sebastian then goes to see Mother Mayhem, and they have an argument when he suggests that he has enough power to fulfill her plan and doesn't have to bring Trigon into the world. But she says that he's nothing and will continue to be nothing without Trigon. She insists that he blow the horn and bring Trigon back, but he says no, very strongly. And then lights are on fire with, like, fire breath. But I suspect that she's not dead. Luther Boy formally announces taking over LexCorp and that he wants to solve all kinds of world problems, which he thinks he can do because capitalism doesn't have to be without a conscience. The team decides to go and confront Luther Boy because they think he might be working with Sebastian. And when Raven wants to go, they try to keep her from going because they know that she's connected to Sebastian and that anything they might have to do to him could hurt her, at least until they can figure out a way to sever the connection. Toward that end, Dick goes off to make what he called a long-distance call, and then we see Starfire show up in the Doom Patrol mansion hallway where Gar and the Doom Patrol folks have been hanging out. But now that she's stumbled her way in there through a door somewhere inside Star Labs, she, like the Doom Patrol members and Gar, cannot get out. It would seem that Dick called Constantine, although he isn't named and only referred to as Dick's friend in London, who gave him access to some type of black magic ritual, or at least the location of a person who could do a black magic ritual that would help Rachel sever herself from Sebastian, but she's reluctant to use it because, of course, there would be a price. Sebastian goes to LexCorp to think about joining and taking Luther Boy's advice to release the game, but once there, he says the magic words and touches the computer console when Luther Boy's out of the room, and it goes all wonky. Meanwhile, Luther Boy tries to destroy the horn with his heat vision in Sebastian's office, but nothing happens to it. Turns out, though, that Sebastian wants to join with Luther Boy and do the game thing. Gar explains the red to Starfire, as well as that it was the red that brought her there, and Starfire explains to him that things are getting worse with Sebastian and all of that. Dick and Raven visit some witchy woman that apparently Constantine sent them to find. LexCorp releases Sebastian's game and it becomes an instant viral hit, possibly because of what Sebastian did to the computers. Meanwhile, Luther Boy is texting with the lady from Cadmus about how to kill Sebastian. Raven undergoes some kind of ritual at the hands of the witchy woman. Apparently Bernard's been playing the game, and when Tim finds him, he's passed out on the floor and bleeding from his nose. Luther Boy confronts Sebastian about how the game went so crazy viral, and he explains that he did indeed mojo the game by messing with the computer, and that the people who are playing it are not so much playing it, but becoming part of it, and that it connected everyone to everyone, including to him, and it seems that he's gaining power from it. Apparently, the players are going to die, but live forever inside Sebastian. Somehow, the ritual causes some kind of black ooze to come out of Rachel, and it then takes the form of, I guess, a demon, which Dick unsuccessfully tries to fight. Apparently, it's feeding on Rachel, and Dick has to kill it with some kind of knife that doesn't seem to have a blade. I don't know. Cliff, Larry, Cyborg, Gar, and Starfire played tennis, with Cliff fulfilling the role of referee, apparently, or coach, for some reason. But then they find a way out of the mansion when it starts to go haywire, which includes Gar turning into a bat and acting as a guidance aid towards Larry's negative spirit, which was hovering near some type of rift in space-time or whatever, that Cyborg needs to hit with his cannon in order for them to be able to get out, without being able to actually see what he's shooting at. Dick finally manages to find the demon and kill it with the knife that has no blade, and Tim manages to get into LexCorp when Luther Boy realizes that they're trying to hack in and lets them in. So the game ends up being nullified, and Sebastian and Raven are separated between the two things that are happening in different locations. But Bernard is still out cold, and seemingly in a bad way. Gar and Starfire reunite with the team at Star Labs. Mother Mayhem wakes up in the morgue, a little bit crispy, a little toasty, a little burnt. And that's where the episode ended. Not a great episode. I don't know why they had to do the whole thing with the Doom Patrol mansion and Gar and Starfire. It was just dumb. It was just a time killer.
Come to think of it, I don't know why they had to do the thing where LexCorp releases the video game. It didn't even take up 10 minutes of the episode, and it was released and then ended within that short period of time, and doing it didn't have any effect on the issues that the team is trying to resolve, except it placated Sebastian for a few minutes and kept him under Luther Boy's watchful eye, but so what? It was pointless within the story for them to depict that whole event.
There are only 2 episodes left. I don't think we've seen them in costume except in the beginning because they were at the end of the previous season. We haven't seen the Robin costume. 2 episodes left. I don't know. I don't know what it is about the show. It's been underwhelming for the past 3 seasons. The first season I thought was good, and maybe the second season, but last season and this season, just not good. This season is still better than last season. Last season was really bad, but it's just not good. I watch the episodes and I go, okay, and they got 2 episodes to bring Trigon back and defeat him, or 2 episodes to keep him from being brought back. And I don't see how either option is going to be anything but lame. So I don't know. 2 more episodes, then we don't have to worry about it anymore. So that's it. I'm going to get out of here. I'll be back to review the next episode once it's released for some reason. Until I return, I wish you peace and long life.